Hello everyone and welcome to this new video from 3Dreams 106 channel. Welcome back to the channel after the Christmas break. I hope you all had a happy and peaceful vacation and you are thrilled for this new year. So let's start 2025 with some special filaments. I'm talking about wood PLA and marble PLA. So in this video we're going to find out more about these filaments. In particular, we're going to talk about their characteristics, how to print them, and what models go perfectly with these materials. So let's cut the chase and get right into it. With the rise in popularity of 3D printing, filament companies have started formulating a whole series of super special materials that didn't exist before. We have already talked about some special filaments in previous videos that I will leave right there for you. But the spools I want to show you today are a little bit different because their main goal is to create 3D printed parts that don't look like 3D printed parts. In fact, as you might have guessed, wood PLA mimics the texture of wood, while marble PLA replicates the finish of marble. These filaments are similar to each other, but they have some substantial differences. So let's find out more. Wood filaments contain actual wood fibers, like the carbon-filled filaments that we have covered in a previous video. The percentage obviously varies between the companies, but it is usually around 15 to 20%. In this video in particular, I will show you filament PM products that they kindly sent to me. In particular, WoodJet, that is wood PLA from filament PM, contains 20% of bamboo fiber. These make the finish of the final pieces very similar to the wood, without the risk of clogging, which can often happen with other brand that produces this kind of filament. As a bonus, there will be a very wood-like scent in your room when you print this kind of filament. This special feature also allows you to print this filament with a standard nozzle, a brass nozzle. Although I would still recommend using a nozzle over harder material if you plan to use a large quantity of WoodJet. If you buy this material from another brand, remember that a hardened steel nozzle or something similar is absolutely mandatory to prevent the metal from wearing out right away. Also, a larger diameter might really help you avoid clogs. So, if possible, try using a 0.5 or 0.6 millimeters nozzle. If you're curious about my favorite setups for printing abrasive materials, I invite you to take a look at the video about carbon fiber filaments that I've mentioned earlier. I will leave the link right there for you. On the other hand, marble PLA doesn't contain marble, neither abrasive additives in the case of filament PM product. But if you buy it from another company, make sure to check if you need a hardened steel nozzle, because it might be possible. Another caution you must take with those kind of filament is to dry them before printing, because the fibers and the additives tend to absorb moisture, and a wet filament causes all kind of problems when printing. So use a temperature between 40 and 50 degrees for about 6 to 8 hours to dry properly these spools. We will go more in depth about dryers and how to use them in a future video, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. The last tip I want to give you to use this kind of filaments is to be careful when handling them. Because of the special formulation required for this beautiful finish, filaments become stiff and brittle, so they tend to break if bent. Be careful when loading them onto the printer. You can get an idea of the final finish of the piece just from the coils of the spools, but I would say it's time to show you some prints that I've made with these wonderful filaments. I honestly find them perfect for furniture projects and household items. You can also use them to print gifts and you're sure to look great. So let's start with a couple of simple prints that are very effective at showing the final finish of the piece. I wanted to print two Rubik's Cube stands, one for each filament, so here we have it. And as you can see, they aren't complex objects, but they still allow us to appreciate the finish of these filaments. In particular, the surface is very nice and it really resembles wood and marble. I sincerely love these materials, and plus, as anticipated before, they are really good at hiding the layers of the 3D printed parts. So if you want to print a gift, or if a client asks you to hide in some way the layer lines, these spools might be an ideal solution for you. Of course, I printed some other things as well. For example, I've chosen this beautiful bottle holder to print with MarbleJet, and as you can see, the finish is very similar to marble, and in my opinion, the final effect is wonderful. I really love it. In all honesty, both of these filaments are gorgeous, but the marble PLA is my favorite. Let me know your opinion down in the comments. I also wanted to try combining these two materials, so I designed this simple brush holder, and I chose to print the base with marble and the rest of the object with wood. And look at this beauty. I really like it, and I think it's awesome to combine different materials, especially with the simple objects like this one. The spools that I'm showing you are the natural version of the wood PLA and the light version of the marble PLA. You can also find a dark version of marble PLA that tends to a darker gray. In addition to that, you can also purchase a marble ABS if you need a stronger material. Of course, you can use these filaments for any model you're interested in, but some categories of objects will match these products perfectly. For example, wood PLA is ideal for small furniture, toys, vases, as well as all of those objects that are normally made out of wood that you would buy in a store. Marble PLA, on the other hand, is exceptional for collectibles, such as replicas of statues, but also for elegant accessories for your desk or even decorations such as centerpieces or place cards. Of course, these materials have pros and cons. The aesthetic aspect is the most obvious feature of this material, but there's more. For example, you can read about various experiments on Reddit on how to create a super realistic wood effect. Wood PLA is easy to sand, and you can also use stains as you would on a regular wood to give that extra touch to the final piece. In addition, you can also use a software or a website, such as the Formlabs texture engine, to add the wood pattern to an object. In this way, the result will be a super realistic wood part. Let me know down in the comments if you would like a video about this topic. On the other hand, these filaments are designed for aesthetic purposes rather than functional pieces. So they have a lower mechanical resistance compared to regular PLA. So make sure to keep this in mind when deciding what to print. Of course, there are several companies that produce this kind of PLA, and you can find them in different versions for both the wood version and the marble PLA. This is the first time I've used Filament PM products, and I think they are of really high quality. As you can see, the final finish of the piece is really nice, so I'm super happy to present these filaments to you. I will leave all the links to the materials and the models that I've shown you down in the description. On the filament pages, you will also be able to find some pre-made slicing profiles for both a Prusa MK3 and Bambulab machines. So it's a really nice detail for those who own these printers. Let me know down in the comments if you have already tried these filaments and what you would print with them. In the meantime, if you like this video, you might also like this one.